What you gon' do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We have tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spank you. That ass count, gotta make it last down. Start off slow, then I'ma beat it up. Hate on me, but no. Try to say stop when the beat say go. There you go again, that voice is cool. Watch you make your girlfriend. Waiting patiently, wondering when and where I be. After causing ruckus in the industry, making this so she can't sleep.
Shooter, you shot me in the heart, and I've been dying since we've been apart. Oh, shooter, I don't think I'm gonna make it. See, I'm just as good as dead. I'm good as dead. Whoa, bullseye. Girl, you shot me down to my knees, yeah. Since you took your love from me, and I'm holding on to the hopes that you will return. Although I feel I've lost you forever, I will believe that you still love me. Girl, say you do, say you do, say you do, say you do, say you still love me. Shooter, shooter, yeah. You shot me in the heart, oh yeah. And I've been dying since we've been apart. Oh, 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 shooter, shooter, I don't think I'm gonna make it, no. And I'm just as good as dead. Ooh, ooh, ooh. See, I neglected the fact that your love was precious, and I should have took more better care of it. And now every minute you're gone, girl, I sit here just dying alone. And I wish that I could have dodged that bullet of you leaving me. Shooter, shooter, you shot me in the heart, and I've been dying since we've been apart, yeah. Oh, shooter, no, no. Oh, I don't think that I'm gonna make it.
right, check it. Check it. All right, got it low enough. Look, let's go ahead and let's get them likes up, y'all. Like, share, subscribe. Our goal is to get everybody to subscribe. We want to get everybody to subscribe. Y'all see the title? The government versus the defense for R. Kelly motions. These motions, we're going to get it in. Let's get these likes up. Oh, for the 2 people who don't like me. Oh, 2 people don't like me. 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 Okay. That's what your inside sounding like right now. He's coming back. He's back. He's about to break down the truth. Oh my God. I don't know what to do. Oh my God. Oh my God. Alright, let's break it down. Let's go. This is how we're going to do it. Where we starting out first? Shout out to the dream team that's here. Shout out to everybody that's here. Where we starting out first? Let's get it. We're going to start off with the government. The government. Which one is this? The 14th? Yeah, this is an old one. Okay. It says, Dear Judge Donnelly, the government respectfully submits this letter in further support of its motion to admit one video. Oh, this is about the video. Okay. Okay, so let's break this down. The government respectfully submits this letter in further support of its motion to admit one video recording and one audio recording, both of which show the defendant physically and verbally abusing and threatening females for the reasons set forth below, and in the government's motion to admit other acts evidence. Government motion to admit certain undercharged acts dated July the 23rd, 2021, ECF docket number 133, government motion at 28 to 30. The recordings should be admitted at trial. Now, let's talk a little bit. Because they wanted to have one video and one audio. But from what people were spreading around, that it's 100 devices. You got thousands of videos and all this stuff going around, and that proved to be a lie. I just wanted that little part right there. That proved to be a lie. So, just to give you an insight, because I was at court when they played it for that day, I'm lost, because how can you say that it's a bunch of devices, right? But you only want to play one. And you only want to put audio from one. That's not making sense. So let's go here. Let's go ahead because I want to read some more of this. Only one audio, only one video. So everything that the media was saying to y'all, everything that the so-called people, the ops, Mute R. Kelly, Team Truth, Oak Cove, was a lie. Where's the 100 devices? There are none. So let's go here. Let's start right here. The CD sleeve containing the recording is dated 2008, and in context, the recording appears to have been made on that date. Let's stop right here. I thought a lid was around R. Kelly in 1992. Ain't that what they said? Okay. While the defendant does not identify Jane Doe number 20 by her first and last name, he does use her first name and comments that they have been together for 10 years. Jane Doe number 20 met the defendant when she was 18 years old. Stop. Jane Doe number 20 met the defendant when she was 18 years old. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Jane Doe number 20 met the defendant when she was 18 years old. That's past the statutory of limitation. That's past the legal ramifications. It's not my fault. It's not Robert's fault that Jane Doe number 20 was 18 and still a senior. Evidently, she failed. Evidently, she wanted to be around people younger than her. So is she a pedophile? Is she a rapist? Because she wanted to be around people younger than her. So let's break this totally down. Jane Doe number 20 met the defendant when she was 18 years old and a senior in high school in approximately 1999, and therefore the 2008 date appears accurate. Moreover, the recording appears to have been made in the recording studio at the defendant's Olympia Fields residence, based on his direction to Jane Doe number 20 to go to the garage and other comments made throughout the recording. A recording studio the defendant used between approximately 2004 and 2011. We're talking about somebody going to the studio for punishment versus calling the police and having them locked up on fair charges because it's over $5,000 for the rest of her life. Which one would you rather have? If I stole $30,000 from you and you found out, and the most you're going to do to me is tell me to go to the garage for a punishment when I know I can go to jail for 10 years for theft by taking for something over $5,000. Which one would y'all take? Shout out to the folks over on Facebook and on YouTube and on We Got Ups and on Gab. But which one would you take? So let's go there and let's finish. Hold on, let me make this a little bigger so y'all can see, because I want y'all to be able to see it. Okay. It says the government served a trial subpoena on Jane Doe number 20 to testify as a witness at trial and plan to call her to testify tomorrow. However, the government played the audio recording for Jane Doe number 20, and Jane Doe number 20 traveled to New York to prepare for her testimony. She started to have panic attacks and appeared to have an emotional breakdown. For the sake of her mental health, the government advised Jane Doe number 20 that it would not call her as a witness at the trial. I don't believe that, because I know who Jane Doe number 20 is. I believe Jane Doe number 20 told y'all, I'm not testifying. And no matter how y'all try to make it, I'm not doing it. Thank you so much. Hey, the Jack Squad is in the building. That's how we do it. And since the Jack Squad is in the building, let's go here.
Ooh, but my body's telling me yes, baby. I don't want to hurt nobody, but there is something that I must confess. Turn that shit off. Yeah, I'm gonna kill it.
Thank you for being a member of the Jack Squad. That's my membership over on YouTube. Thank you so much for being a member of the Jack Squad. And everybody that's a member, what's up though? What it do? I appreciate you so much. So let's go ahead to remake the video and do what the F I tell you to do, and you're going to do it effing right. At the end of the recording, the defendant directed Jane Doe number 20 to go to his garage and stay there until he directed her to come out. He told her that she could not make any calls other than to him and the studio. The defendant also made several admissions during the recording, including that he and Jane Doe number 20 had been together for 10 years and that he raised her. Okay, now you're taking that out of context. Been together. That don't mean they've been sexually together. That don't mean that they have been seeing each other. She could have been in his company for 10 years. Come on, man, stop. And when Woody Allen said, y'all don't understand, me and my wife been together for 10 years. Do y'all realize that he raised her as from an orphanage, and then when she turned 18, he married her? Make this make sense. Where is the outrage for Woody Allen? For the people who's legitly breaking laws, where is the outrage at? Until I start seeing that, y'all can miss me with it. And for all the people that was on a R. Kelly hate train, now y'all see that these people has been lying from the jump. Now what? Now what? So let's go ahead. At the very end of the recording, after several minutes of silence, the defendant's engineers can be overheard saying that they would have strip searched her. Thus, in context, the recording appears to have been made in the recording studio itself, and with the knowledge of the defendant's engineers, as noted above, the defendant also said on the recording that his engineers downloaded the videotape that purportedly showed Jane Doe number 20 stealing a watch. An excerpt of the threats made by the defendant on the recording is set forth below, and the full transcript of the recording is enclosed in Exhibit B. Here he is. There's only one way we're going to get rid of this. For me to trust your A again. You're going to do the F. You're going to do the F I tell you to do. When you made the effing tape for me, I looked at the sugar honey iced tea. You was hiding your effing face all over that sugar honey iced tea because you didn't want to be seen. I told you to effing trust me. And here it is. I can't effing trust you. You're the only one who's effing untrustworthy. I'm a loyal man. Shut the F up. You're going to do that sugar honey iced tea for me for effing free. And you ain't going to hide your effing face on me. You're going to do what the F I tell you to do. And you're going to do it effing right. Then I'm going to gain your effing trust back with your ASS. If I even detect you trying to hide on that sugar honey iced tea, I'm going to blow this sugar honey iced tea the F up. Do you hear this? Sugar honey iced tea, I'm telling you. I effing raised your assets. I raised you. You are effing murdered for doing sugar honey iced tea like this. Shut up. Shut the F up. You're going to do this as right. You're going to gain my effing trust because you effing owe me that. You hear me? You understand me? You're going to do what the F I tell you to do to gain my mother effing trust. You better not even in my mother effing life take from me again, or I will be in Florida, and something will happen to you. You understand what I'm telling you? Now you go to that effing garage, you chill there until you hear from me. You understand me? You take your effing phone. You don't call no mother effing body, and I will know if you did. You can go in the closet. You can go wherever you want to go. But I'm going to know if you did. You come over here for something to eat, or you call to me. And that's the F it. Until I tell you can go back in that room. Okay? Do you hear me? Go to the garage. Write the F now. When I come and get you this time, you better be effing like you're supposed to be effing B. And you know you held back on that tape. Now, don't you? You're not going to do that no more. You bet not. F not. Go to the effing garage. Hear me? You're not going to tape until I tell you. When I tell you, I don't give a F if you're coming out of your sleep. You better be effing ready. Do you understand? You better feel like you asked me to do. You make no effing calls except to the studio or me. Now watch this. Let's stop right there. Right? What if this was role playing? What if this was role playing? If she really wasn't scared for her life, why didn't she call the police? I'll take it a step further. What if that watch? What if that watch was all she needed to know that she would do 10 years in a federal jail for stealing if he wanted to press charges? You know what I'm saying? So you have all of this, you have all that. So I do want to get into Diana Copeland. So it says the recordings are also admissible to rebut testimony elicited by the defendant on cross-examination and arguments that defendant has already made and will continue to make regarding both the government's witness and the nature of the proof in the case. For example, in an apparent attempt to support an argument that the government witnesses are lying about abuse inflicted on them by the defendant elicited testimony from former employee Diana Copeland about the purported respect afforded by the defendant towards females and attempted to paint the defendant as a generous and loving boyfriend. For example, cross-examination of Diana Copeland. Defense counsel elicited that the defendant stood up when females, including his girlfriends, entered the room and opened doors for females. Question, okay, but when his girlfriends came into the room, he stood up. Am I correct? That's correct. In fact, when you came into the room, he stood up. Am I correct? That's correct. And in fact, he would stand up anytime a female came into the room. Am I correct? That's correct. And he would open the door for any female. Am I correct? That's correct. It wasn't just his girlfriends. Am I correct? That's correct. Now, and he hired personal assistants to make sure that the needs and the wants of his girlfriends were attended to. Am I correct? That's correct. Let's stop right there. Here's the problem. Hugh Hefner had girlfriends. Robert have girlfriends with an S. The problem is he's not supposed to live like that because he's a colored man. I know people don't want to go with race, but you have to. Hugh Hefner had many women. Nobody said nothing. He had Brooke Shields at the age of 8 on the front of Playboy magazine naked. Nobody said nothing. Robert have girlfriends that live with him, and now he got a cult. Make it make sense. People go home with the same thing they come with, a brown paper bag, and they get mad and they want a suit. But they want to get an Emmy. But they want Birkin bags. They want red bottoms. They want Victoria's Secret underwear every day. They want $5,000 allowance a week. As long as they get that. Okay, Kimberly, I stand corrected. She was 10. Okay, cool. As long as they can get $5,000 a week, they fine. As long as the parents say their kids can get $5,000 a week and they can get $2,000 every time they get paid, they fine. So let's finish. Now, in the 15 years that you worked with Mr. Kelly, did you ever see him try to stop or prevent any one of his girlfriends from leaving him? Answer, no. Question, have you ever saw him lock any of his girlfriends in a room? Never. Has he ever asked you to do such a thing? Never. Have you ever heard him ask any of his staff to do such a thing? Never. Did you ever see Mr. Kelly deny any of his girlfriends water? Never. Did you ever hear him ask anyone else to deny them water? No. Did he ever ask you to deny the water? No. What about food? Have you ever seen him deny them food? No. In fact, they had Uber accounts for his. In fact, they had Uber accounts for the girlfriends. They did. They had menus all across the place to order food. Am I correct? Yes. And they had runners available to them to go and get food. Am I correct? That's correct. And they had personal assistants to also assist them. Correct? In fact, you've even seen Mr. Kelly. In fact, you've never seen Mr. Kelly hit anyone. I have not. Now, how long did you work with him? From October 2015 until early February 2017. With getting food, water, drink, shop, and anything of those things, am I correct? That is correct. You did not see anyone in Mr. Kelly's employment do any of those things in terms of denying women food, water, drinks. Nope. Never saw anyone locked in a room. Never. Wow. Question. You ever received any calls at the front desk that said that they wanted to leave and they weren't allowed to? Correct? There's been times where there's people that wanted to leave and they couldn't because either they couldn't get a ride or we couldn't get a hold of Rob. Wow. So let's see what this motion is right here. Let's see what this one's talking about. Dear Judge Donnelly, the defense submits this letter motion seeking an amendment of the proposed jury instructions. The defense recognizes that the court directed the parties to submit joint proposed instructions. However, after a review of the testimony elicited at trial, the defense submits the proposed amendments are required. Request number 16, Racketeering Act 1. With respect to the Illinois statute of robbery, the proposed instruction currently. Illinois Criminal Code, Section 533-1A provides in pertinent part that a person commits robbery when with intent to influence the performance of any act related to the employment and function of any public officer or public employee. He promises or tenders to that person any property which he is not authorized by the law. The government must prove beyond a reasonable doubt each of the following elements. First, that the person the defendant sought to influence was a public officer or public employee. Second, that the defendant caused another person to promise or tender property to the person the defendant sought to influence. And third, the defendant did so with the intent to influence the performance of any act related to that person's employment or function as a public officer or public employee. However, the pattern jury instructions given by Illinois courts provided. Pattern jury instruction criminal 21-11. 21-11 definition of robbery. Official. A person commits the offense of robbery when he promises or tenders any property, personal advantage to a public officer, public employee, juror, witness, with intent to influence the performance of any act related to the officer's, employees, jurors, witnesses, employment, or function. So I got a question. When did Robert bribe anybody? Or promises or tenders any property, personal advantage, to one whom he believes to be a public officer, public employee, juror, witness, with intent to influence the performance of any act related to the employment or function of a public officer, public employee, juror, or witness. Or promises or tenders any property, personal advantage, to another person with intent to cause the other person to influence the performance of any act related to the employment or function of a public officer, public employee, juror, or witness. Or receives, retains, agrees to accept any property, personal advantage, knowing that the property, personal advantage, was tendered, promised, with intent to cause him to influence the performance of any act related to the employment or function of a public officer, public employee, juror, or witness. Or solicits, receives, retains, agrees to accept and property, any property, personal advantage, pursuant to an understanding that he shall and properly influence, attempt to influence the performance of any act related to the employment or function of a public officer, public employee, juror, witness. The term public officer means a person who is elected to office pursuant to statute to discharge a public duty for any political subdivision of the state. The term public officer means a person who is appointed to an office which is established and the qualifications and duties of which are prescribed by statute to discharge a public duty for any political subdivision of the state. The term public employee is a person who is authorized to perform an official function on behalf of and is paid by any political subdivision of the state. The term tender means any delivery or proffer made with the requisite intent. So who did that? Then they got the issues in bribery. Okay. At the instant trial, the government called Demetrius Smith regarding a bribery charge. On direct, Mr. Smith testified that he alone offered money to another person, that Mr. Kelly was not present when he discussed anything about money, and that he received the money from another person and not Mr. Kelly. We know who that was, Barry Hankerson. On cross-examination, Mr. Smith was asked, question, okay, now Robert never had anything to do with you bribing anyone to get a marriage license. Am I correct? Answer, no, he didn't. The count related to robbery should be dismissed. If the court, however, decides to submit the charge to the jury, it is clear that the government's theory is that the robbery was conducted through an intermediary. Then it have 2112B, issues in robbery official through an intermediary. I'm sorry, issues in robbery official through an intermediary. To sustain the charge of robbery, the state must prove the following propositions. First proposition, that the defendant promised or tendered property or personal advantage to, and second proposition, that the defendant did so with the intent to cause, to influence the performance of any act related to the employment function of a public officer, public employee, juror, or witness. If you find from your consideration of all the evidence that each one of these propositions has been proved beyond a reasonable doubt, you should find the defendant guilty. If you find from your consideration of all the evidence that any one of these propositions has not been proved beyond a reasonable doubt, you should find the defendant not guilty. So where's all this stuff that he bribed somebody? Where's the bribery coming from? As illustrated by the Illinois pattern jury instruction, there are only two propositions. The proposed instruction would improperly provide three propositions. However, as demonstrated above, in any scenario, the defendant would have to tender property directly to the person bribed, 21.12, or tender property to the person, a third person, with the intent to cause the third person to influence the official act. The second part of the proposed instruction in this case currently reads, second, the defendant caused another person to promise or tender property to the person the defendant sought to influence. And however, that is not a proper reading of the statute, nor would it appear to be an instruction that would be given pursuant to the pattern instruction. The defense submits that the jury instructions in the instant case regarding the Illinois statute should be guided by what the Illinois state legislature intended and what is properly given by Illinois state courts. The defense respectfully requests that the instruction be amended so that it reads that the defendant either promised or tendered property to the official actor, or promised or tendered property to a person so that he or she could influence the official actor. Whew. California Health and Safety Code 120290. With respect to California Health and Safety Code 120290, the proposed instruction currently reads, the government must prove beyond a reasonable doubt, first, that the defendant knew that he was afflicted with any contagious, infectious, and communicable disease. Second, the defendant exposed himself to Jane Doe number 5 by engaging in unprotected sexual activity with Jane Doe number 5. Third, the defendant acted willfully. And fourth, that the defendant did not inform Jane Doe number 5 that he had a contagious, infectious, and communicable disease to obtain her consent to expose himself in these circumstances prior to engaging in exposure. However, the text of the statute actually provides A1. A defendant is guilty of intentionally transmission of an infectious or communicable disease if all of the following apply. The defendant knows that he or she or a third party is afflicted with an infectious or communicable disease. B, the defendant acts with the specific intent to transmit or cause an inflicted third party to transmit that disease to another person. C, the defendant or the afflicted third party engages in conduct that poses a substantial risk of transmission to that person. D, the defendant or the third party transmits the infectious or communicable disease to the other person. E, if exposure occurs through interaction with the defendant and not a third party, the person exposed to the disease during voluntary interaction with the defendant did not know that the defendant was afflicted with the disease. A person's interaction with the defendant is not involuntarily solely on the basis of his or her lack of knowledge that the defendant was afflicted with the disease. 2. A defendant is guilty of willfully exposure to an infectious or communicable disease if a health officer or the health officer's designee, acting under circumstances that make securing a quarantine or health officer order infeasible, has instructed the defendant not to engage in particularized conduct that poses a substantial risk of transmission of an infectious or communicable disease, and the defendant engages in that conduct within 96 hours of the instruction. A health officer or the health officer's designee may issue a maximum of 2 instructions to a defendant that may result in a violation of this paragraph. Whew. Let's go. The defendant does not act with the intent required pursuant to subparagraph B or paragraph 1 of subdivision A if the defendant takes or attempts to take practical means to prevent transmission. Failure to take practical means to prevent transmission alone is insufficient to prove the intent required pursuant to subparagraph B or paragraph 1 of subdivision A. Becoming pregnant while infected with an infectious or communicable disease containing a pregnancy while infected with an infectious or communicable disease or declining treatment for an infectious or communicable disease during pregnancy does not constitute a crime for purposes of this section. E. For purposes of this section, the following definition shall apply. 1. Conduct that poses a substantial risk of transmission means an activity that has a reasonable probability of disease transmission as proven by competent medical and epidemiological evidence. Conduct posing a low or negligible risk of transmission as proven by competent medical and epidemiological evidence does not meet the definition of conduct posing a substantial risk of transmission. 2. Infectious or communicable disease means a disease that spreads from person to person directly or indirectly that has significant public health implications. 3. Practical means to prevent transmission means a method, device, behavior, or activity demonstrated scientifically to measurably limit or reduce the risk of transmission of an infectious or communicable disease, including but not limited to the use of a condom, barrier protection, or prophylactic device, or good faith compliance with a medical treatment regimen for the infectious or communicable disease prescribed by a health officer or physician. F. This section does not preclude a defendant from asserting any common law defense. The statute also provides a defendant's medical records, medications, prescriptions, or medical devices shall not be used as the role basis of establishing the specific intent required pursuant to subparagraph B or paragraph 1 of subdivision A. That means that get thrown out. Initially, the defense respectfully requests that the court require the government to indicate whether the claim is that Mr. Kelly intentionally exposed others or that he willfully exposed others. Further, the defense respectfully requests that the court provide an instruction that the defendant does not act with the intent required pursuant to the statute if the defendant takes or attempts to take practical means to prevent transmission. The defense also respectfully requests that the court provide an instruction that failure to take practical means to prevent transmission alone is insufficient to prove the intent to transmit a communicable disease. Whew, how much more? Okay. This was a long one today. California Penal Law sections 261.5A and 261.5B. The statute provides, statute 261.5A, unlawful sexual intercourse is an act of sexual intercourse accomplished with a person who is not the spouse of the perpetrator. If the person is a minor, for the purposes of this section, a minor is a person under the age of 18 years old, and an adult is a person who is at least 18 years of age. Let's say that again. For the purposes of this section, a minor, and this is California, a minor is a person under the age of 18 years old, and an adult is a person who is at least 18 years of age. B, any person who engages in an act of unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor who is not more than 3 years older or 3 years younger than the perpetrator is guilty of a misdemeanor. Any person who engages in an act of unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor who is not more than 3 years older or 3 years younger than the perpetrator is guilty of a misdemeanor. He tested negative for it. So how is that willful intent? Exactly, Kimberly. They sure don't say anything about Charlie Sheen. Facts. The defense respectfully requests that the court provide the following instruction. Mistake of fact. Reasonable mistake by the defendant as to the age of the minor is a defense. This defense applies if the defendant held a reasonable belief that the minor was at least 18 years old at the time of the sexual intercourse. That kills Geronda right there. Authority, People versus Hernandez. Oh boy, this case law is long. There can be no dispute that a criminal intent exists when the perpetrator proceeds with utter disregard of or in the lack of grounds for a belief that the female has reached the age of consent. But if he participates in a mutual act of sexual intercourse, believing his partner to be beyond the age of consent, with reasonable grounds for such belief, where is his criminal intent? In such circumstances, he has not consciously taken any risk. Instead, he has subjectively eliminated the risk by satisfying himself on reasonable evidence that the crime cannot be committed. If it occurs that he has been misled, we cannot realistically conclude that for such reasons alone, the intent with which he undertook the act suddenly becomes more heinous. The court in Hernandez reversed the conviction for statutory rape, wherein the complainant was 17 years and 9 months, and the accused had a good faith belief that the complainant was over the age of consent. Verdict sheet. The defense respectfully requests that the court amend the verdict sheet so that the choices read not guilty, not proven, guilty, and proven. The rationale for such an amendment is obvious. The defendant is presumed innocent to require the jury to surrender that presumption to first consider guilt in order to go back to a consideration of whether the defendant is not guilty is confusing, may shift the burden of proof, and denies the defendant the true presumption of innocence. Respectfully submitted, Calvin H. Scholar. I got a question. And the question I have is right here. So when me and Larry had a debate, Oak Cove and Team Truth, and before they switched, they said Geronda was 16. Right? But it's been proven in court that she had ID saying that she was way older than 16, and she was operating in a capacity that she was even older than 18. So with that being said, my question is this. Here's a case law to combat everything that she ever said. I wish Larry was around because I would ask Larry to read this himself. And I would tell Larry plain and simple, no matter how you look at it, morally, you can say whatever you want. But it clearly states there can be no dispute that a criminal intent exists when the perpetrator proceeds with utter disregard of or in the lack of grounds for a belief that the female has reached the age of consent. But if he participates in a mutual, here's the key word, if he participates in a mutual act of sexual intercourse, believing his partner to be beyond the age of consent, with reasonable grounds for such belief, where is his criminal intent? Where is the criminal intent? And in the words of Gloria Allred, well, that kills that lawsuit. Where is the criminal intent? That's what I would ask Atmos. Where is the criminal intent? That's what I would ask. And seeing the difference between me and other channels is I read, and when I read, I understand what I read. I don't just read and just keep going. No, you have to give the people an understanding, because there's some folks that might not understand what's being said. Yeah, they hear the words, but they're not understanding. So let's break it down. Where is the intent? If he believed, or should I say this, if he was misguided, lied to, misled, tricked to believe that she's over the age, where is the crime? Or better yet, where is the criminal intent? In order to break the law, you have to have the intent first to break the law. So where's the intent? And then it comes back and says, in such circumstances, he has not consciously taken any risks. So if there's no criminal intent, he have not consciously taken a risk to break the law. Instead, he has subjectively eliminated the risk by satisfying himself on reasonable evidence that the crime cannot be committed. That right there is enough. Instead, he has subjectively, meaning he put himself in the act. But even though he's in the act is eliminated because the risk that he took by satisfying himself on reasonable evidence that the crime cannot be committed. Why? Because she lied about her age. So therefore, as they say, there's no case, no face. Let's break it down. Where there has been what is the word I'm looking for? Where there has been trickery or treachery and defiance, that's the word I'm looking for. Where there has been defiance by lying or whatever, there's no act. Even though the act happened, it's eliminated because of the thought and of the act that she has made that, hey, I'm older than what you think, so I'm a smash. Which lead me to believe that because this right here is old. People versus Hernandez is old. 1964. That's how old it is. 1964. And it haven't been reprimanded. But it haven't been redone over nothing. So this was put in 1964. Which means when Geronda was getting things done, they ain't have no intent on trying to settle this. They ain't have no intent on trying to fight this. So I'm wondering, when Geronda was getting that amount, how much was Susan Logan getting off the top? Because your lawyer get 33 1/3. So if your lawyer get 33 1/3 of what you settle for, and if Rob don't know what he settled for because Daryl McDavid was handling, then guess what? Daryl didn't just get a cut, but a Susan got a cut. So now we're looking at extortion. So if we're going to extort the man, we all got to make sure none of us get caught. So here's what I believe happened. When they came up with this elaborate scheme to set Robert up, they didn't know that the probe was going to go deep into them as well. I said that to say this. Be very careful who you have in your circle. Be very careful who you have in your circle. Kimberly said Gloria Allred gets 60%. No, I'm talking about back then. With Susan Loggins. I don't know how much Gloria get now, but if she gets 60%, that's highway robbery. Because the most a lawyer's supposed to get is 33 1/3. It can be negotiated down, but it's not supposed to go over 33 1/3. Patricia Martin said Rob was nothing but a sugar daddy. Oh my God. Y'all crazy. They should have made her come to court. White privilege is a mother. Yeah, Ashley. And also she was saying that her mom is sick and she taking care of her mom. And yeah, but I still say they should have locked her up. Ex-best friend. Huh? So, on Facebook, Vi said enticement. They was flipping them ladies to get a bag. I totally agree to that. I agree that they was flipping women or them ones to get a bag. I do. Because I don't believe Daryl was getting what he thought he should get. Now, word on the street is Baby Powder's locked up. Now, Greenberg haven't said nothing about it. If it's true, I wonder why. He tweet about everything else. Why not tweet about Baby Powder being locked up? But look, if you want to send R. Kelly any type of money, send a check, money order, or cashier's check to Mr. Devereaux Canick at 69-06 Grand Avenue, Maspeth, New York, 11378. There's no Cash App. There's no PayPal. There's no Givelify. There's no Zelle. You have to send certified funds, cashier check, money order, or a check from your banking account that's not going to bounce. And you don't want to send a check and as soon as they put it through, it start dribbling like it's Allen Iverson or something. And you don't want that. That lady, Rachel Ultra, who was Tiger Woods' mistress, only got $2 million of the $8 million when Allred represented her. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Daryl Johnson faces. But hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Kimberly, do you know she got more than half? That's more than 60%. That's 80%. That's 80%. God. Phew. But yeah, it's right here. If you want to send funds for R. Kelly, you can send it to Mr. Devereaux Canick at 6906 Grand Avenue, Maspeth, New York, 11378. There's no electronic avenue at this time. It's right here on the screen. There's no Givelify. There's no Cash App. There's no PayPal. There's no Zelle. Everything goes straight to Canick Devereaux. And when you sign it, put R. Kelly Defense Fund. Put R. Kelly Defense Fund. And send it to Mr. Devereaux Canick. So Patricia Martin is right down the screen. J-Rock said, can the defense still subpoena Susan Loggins since it is now calling their witness? But she wouldn't be a witness for the defense. She's against Robert. But wait a minute. That lady got $6 million. That's 80%. God. Israel, I'm saying the same thing. What happened to the other $6 million? I told you already, it takes almost all of it. You said 60, but jeez, that's 80. Man, I would have told. I would have told her, well, that kills my lawyer. I'm telling you. If you want to donate to me to get back to New York, you can go ahead and hit my Cash App at $ official DanaJay, not and. $, official DanaJay, or you can hit me at Zelle at DAINTEZJACKSON at yahoo.com. JP about to be responsible to pay back all them settlements. You know what, Vi? I totally would make her do it. Yep. And what I'll do is I'll take her husband's military pension. A man's life is at stake. If they thought her testimony could get Robert, they would have her ASATs there in a flash. No excuses. But I do want to say this from what I heard. And this is just what I heard from watching Byron live today. He said that the funds that R. Kelly have is low and that they having trouble with getting witnesses to New York. and their hotel stay. I say this. If certain people wouldn't have been in their feelings and trying to stifle everything that myself and Levi was doing for Robert and had going, Robert wouldn't have been running into these problems. But because people wanted the funds to come to them instead of to Robert, this is what you have now. And what I can't understand is how people is still listening to people who have no content, who have nothing going for themselves, or nothing else going on. Hey, can I get at least 21 more likes? I have 186 people here. Can I get at least 21 more likes? Let's make it balance out. JP about to be responsible. That's right. All them settlements, you're right. The therapists and investigators, etc., have to be paid out of the settlement. Facts. Facts, but that's a lot. Hey, Miss Shirley. Right there, Willie. On point. We can go there. If y'all want the Dream Team CEO back in New York, Cash App, $ official DanaJay, ZELLE, daintezjackson at yahoo.com, or hit up the tip jar. Yeah, but I ain't even put the tip jar up today. So that means that you got to go on to the main page and hit that tip jar sign. It looked like a little T, a little bit. Facts. Facts. I agree with you, Vi. Totally agree. Those parents been pimping. Those parents been pimping their daughters out. Those parents been pimping their daughters out. Hell, Mati Prince's first wife, her parents sent her to Prince when she was 16 years old, and Prince was 39 years old. That's the first time I heard of that. Yeah, everybody, please like, share, and subscribe this content. Please. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to get 10,000. I'm trying to get to 10,000. I'm on a road to 10,000. So please like, share, and subscribe, please. Thank you so much. Daryl Johnson, a.k.a. Baby Powder, is as a clown. I'm going to let y'all know. I'm about to start getting some shirts made up. I'm about to start getting some merchandise. And I got a hot slogan. So I'm going to get with one of my guys and we're going to come up with something hot. I just can't wait. You feel me? I just can't wait to see the finished product of the shirt. And it's going to be epic. I'm going to tell y'all now. It's going to be epic. I'm not even going to put it out unless it's epic. By laughing. I think she charges a lot for her publicity services on top of the legal fees. But golly, 80%? That's highway robbery.
There goes my lawsuit. Don't tell him how much I'm getting paid, Kimberly.
She should have brought her a new walk with that $6 million.
Don't tell him, Kimberly, how much I'm getting paid.
These civil lawyers be scamming their clients. Yeah. Seems like the government making up stuff trying to convict R. Kelly, trying everything. Yeah, Corey, but they got to throw it out. Whatever you do, don't mention the Prince situation. I don't know too much about that. So that'd be weird for me to mention it because I don't know too much about it. Susan Loggins may be against Robert, but what would that cross be like? But you know, the cross wouldn't come from Canada. The cross will come from the federal government. So you know that'll totally be against. Miss Muffin said, "Damn, had it good. The bad ones always mess it up for the good ones." Man, they was getting $5,000 a month. How they admit evidence from Susan Logan and she as the lawyer ain't have to come in? You know what, Nick? That make I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Dana, they still telling folks to send money on his books. Folks don't know what to believe. Look, I got it directly from the people where it need to come from themselves. I don't believe in creating chaos and mess. So if it didn't come from the people that it needed to come from, I wouldn't be saying it. Come, y'all, let's donate to get DanaJay back to New York. Hit his Cash App tip jar. By Susan not turning those alleged victims over to the police clearly shows extortion. Facts. Facts. Bro, you still have the intelligence that most don't. I like the let me bring you back to this joint you've been doing lately. Facts, man. I have to. And I appreciate it, Nick. Send all funds for R. Kelly to Mr. Devereaux Canning at 69-06 Grand Avenue, Mass Path, New York, 11378. No electronic AF. Thank you so much, Willie. So thank you so much. Paul Davis said about time. Don't bring my baby Prince into this. Uh-oh. Hit the like button. I appreciate everybody. Say no to powder, especially if it's made by Johnson. You stupid. You stupid.
The birds are chirping.
Yo, I'm gonna make that into a sound. Watch. I'm gonna make that into a sound joint. It's going to say free Rob. I don't know what you're talking about. Ava Felony took all of his clients' money and didn't give them any at all. Ronell, what's up? What up, Dennis? Because they're crooks. Dana, are you planning something for the verdict reading or before that? I surely am, Shay. Get out my head, Shay. I surely am. Free R. Kelly and let him come home. Yeah. Carl Thomas. Okay. If Rob need money and you his mans, why ask to send you to New York instead letting him get every last dollar? You at New York not going to help or change anything in the case. Just saying. Well, here's the thing, Carl. At the end of the day, only thing I can do is ask. For me and for Robert. It's been so much chaos with the haters. I don't force nobody to do anything. But when I'm in New York, I'm reporting of what's going on. I don't rely on other people. If you want to donate to DanaJay to get back to New York, hit his Cash App, $ official DanaJay, tip jar, or ZELLE. You spelled my name wrong. Amazing. What up, bro? This is when you know you can have good commentary after a while. Because DJ Amazing is not for Robert at all. Well, I don't know, because he might have switched back by now. After seeing all the stuff that these people been lying about, he might switch back like, oh man, I'm going back to Rob's side. It's like, nah, I don't know, man, but DJ Amazing is a good guy outside of all this. He's a real good guy. Sugar Honey Iced Tea. Dana. Yeah, you know, I can't cuss on here, man. You know how I get. See, that's why I said don't mention Prince, because them Prince fans jump on you heavy. It gets ugly. Oh, Prince got a fan base like that? Is it true Daryl Johnson went down? Why? And also, Dana, give your thoughts thus far on Kel's case, what they proved in heaven. But I'm going to break it down to you, Nick. I heard that he got booked. I don't know. I'm waiting for his boss, Greenberg, to post something, but I don't know. I will try to look and see if Daryl Johnson has got locked up. If so, I will post it here. And my thoughts on Kel's case. I think that he's coming home like Wednesday. I think this is going to be done Wednesday of next week. If it's true that the defense got 6 witnesses, that's going to take the rest of the week, and that's it. If that. And the government tries to be long-winded, and they try to be real fast-talking, so it's like, and you really got to listen into what they saying. But I believe that Rob is coming home. The Chicago case has been vacated, but then they put up another case, and they put Daryl McDavid and June Brown. They are off the case, and they just put Robert up there. I'm not understanding that at all. So, trust me, as I get it day by day, I'll be breaking it down and giving it more. Oh, I'm talking about those shirts. No, not my shirts. My shirt's going to say something else. Hey, Dana in chat. Hey, Mona! But yeah, I'm going to have some shirts. It's going to be some merchandise. It's going to have my face on it. Yo, trust me, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. But I'm going to have, but I'm doing shirts. I'm doing socks. And I want to do shorts. And I want to do something for the ladies. So I want to do like halter tank tops for the ladies. And I want to do like boy shorts for the ladies. That's what I want to do. I don't want to copy nobody else's style, but yeah. All sugar honey iced tea. Oh, hush. Hey, Mona, yeah. I believe the prosecution witness did so bad on the stand, they helped release those chains off Kel. Well, that's true too, but they don't have to. They don't have to worry about it. I mean, it's like God is in control of that, bro. And I ain't gonna lie to you. Anybody who don't know Robert or who don't know the case after seeing the way those charges was trumped, it's hard not to go. It's hard not to go against those charges. But when you have people that been there, that stand the ground and they see what's going on. Now watch this. I gave y'all a deadline of when? September the what? 15th, right? Okay. So watch this. It's ironic that now the government rests their case. The government rests their case. But it's past the what? Deadline. They could have been rest their case. But why help this man get his masters and become the most powerful man in the world? Why not push it past that date and then rest your case? And you got to look at what's going on. Cool, amazing, hit me, bro. I got the same number. Oh, you want to talk on my live? I mean, hey. I wish you would have said something. I mean, ooh. Because I don't got no, what you calling right now? We can definitely set it up for tomorrow. Me and you, we can go live tomorrow, and I can go through Zoom. Cool. Let me see what Stephanie said. Dana needs to be there so the people can get the real truth out. It's called word of mouth. The media will not tell the real story. That's facts. That's facts. That's so facts, Stephanie. Carl, are you paying attention? Our brother is reporting what's going on straight from the courtroom. That's why we need him there. Yeah. I love Prince too, but I think they did him wrong. I think they killed him just to get his masters, and I don't like that. Hey, MG. And Huff said, hit that Cash App and help get Dana back to New York. $ official DanaJay will hit the tip jar and thanks in advance. Facts. Was our Kelly's enterprise working out of New York? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that, Dennis. What you mean by that? Because Robert ain't have an enterprise. So, what are you trying to ask, Dennis? Because Robert ain't have an enterprise. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Facts, I totally agree. Hold on. Ah! Hold on. I just caught a cramp. Oh, God. Yo, you live on the DanaJay show?
Yeah, what's up, man? It's DJ Mason, bro.
Oh, what's going on, bro?
Man, I wanted to ask you. I know you're still live, huh?
Yeah, I'm still live.
Okay. Let me ask you your opinion. I'm gonna get serious for a minute.
Okay.
So, what is your opinion about this whole case? I've been reading all of the transits. I've been reading up on everything, and I mean, at this point, I will be real about it. I am 50-50 on the fence and 50 on. I really don't know which way to go, to be honest. But what is your honest opinion of this whole case?
I'm gonna be honest. By me being in the courtroom and by me seeing and the way these people was manipulated by the government, I gotta say he's innocent, bro. And that's beyond reasonable shadow of doubt, bro.
But based off of what fact?
Huh?
Based off of just what are you basing that on? Because I'm based on what everything I've read, all the testimonies, with the district attorney. That's what I'm basing my decision off of so far.
All right.
If I'm a juror, I don't know which way to go.
I don't check it. I'm gonna tell you, based off of the lack of evidence that was presented, a lot of this turned out to be word of mouth. And then the thing is, by being word of mouth, and you got people that saying stuff at the end of their testimony like, Robert, I still love you. Robert this. Robert, I miss you this. That's not a victim, bro. That's not a victim. A victim is able to look their victimizer in the face and say, I want you to die. Or I'm still going to pray for you. They're not going to sit there and say, I still love you, or I just said this, or I just did this, or we planned this 5 years. No. Like, yo, this is somebody's life. If he did something like that, then okay, he's supposed to get what he's supposed to get. But
okay, hold it right there.
Okay.
What about the semen on the shirt? That's why I'm on the fence. The semen on the shirt is what got me wanting to say they guilty. That's what got me on the fence. Through all the testimony I've heard, it's the semen on the shirt that got me on the fence.
All right, now watch this. Like I tried to tell Diva, a lot of that from Geronda was redacted, and they did say that they had the semen on the shirt or whatever, right? But I wonder why they didn't put in the transcript who the semen is from. Now, I'm going to say this. In court, they didn't tell who the semen is from. And the semen specialist said it was semen on the shirt. It is semen on the shirt. But it's coming back inconclusive. You can't tell who it's from. And immediately the government got away from it.
Yeah, I saw that, but it still doesn't recruit who they say it's well, they didn't say directly from Rob that the shirt came from, but they did say, the shirt fits this description.
Watch this. The first, okay, watch this. But the shirt fits his description, right? Let me bring it to you this. Let me bring it to you this way. You in Atlanta, me and you hanging out. Somebody that fits your description rapes a young lady in that, matter of fact, in the state where that you at. Look like you, fit your description, fit your bill. You're in Atlanta chilling though. When you get back home, they lock you up and say you fit the description. Is that fair to you?
Hell no, that ain't fair to me.
Same thing go for Robert.
Me out of Atlanta.
Same thing go for Robert.
No, because that's different than we talking about semen on the shirt. They didn't find my semen on the shirt. They said I fit the description.
But then watch this.
I go to court.
Watch this. Once again, they found semen on the shirt, but they couldn't tell who it came from because it was inconclusive. So we don't know who the semen came from.
Well, the way they painted the picture is that it came from Mr. Keller. I'm going to put a little bit of respect on the man's name. The only reason I'm going to put a little respect on the man's name because of all these other women, older women, a lot of these women are older. They was doing, and they knew what they was getting into. I can't sit here and say that these women, were young and stupid, and, they could be mind fucked. Excuse my friend. They could be mind fucked. I don't believe that.
Right.
I'm going to say, these women knew what they was getting into. They was going on shopping spree, but I still go back to what I just said, though. That shirt what got me on the fence like, if I'm a juror, I don't know which way I'm leaning.
Watch this, though. Here's the thing. The semen came back inconclusive, so we don't know if it's his or not, right? Now we got to look at actions. Okay. We all was thinking that Geronda had one fake ID, right? She had 3. And on top of that, she changed not just any kind of ID. She changed the number on a government official given ID from the DMV.
Correct.
So if she was that clever to do that, first thing. Second thing is she broke into his house. We ain't know that. I thought Bubba let her in. But she broke into his house and took a picture laying on his bed.
Because she was a crazy fan. Like I say, I can't sit here and say what did and didn't happen. What I see is what I see. I can only base things about
facts.
What I see. She's a crazy fan.
Facts.
I can go off of that.
Facts. And see, and that's why I rock with you because, and no matter what, and you gonna tell how you feel and the way it look. So therefore, if it's proven but she's a crazy fan, who's to say that she ain't have nobody else nut on that shirt and then say it was Robert's? Who? But I mean, who's to say?
I will say I don't like the fact that they used her because she was a crazy fan and she went looking for Robert. I give her that. I give it that on the case. She went looking for that man. She stalked that man so Rob couldn't ignore her no more. And Rob did what he did. Well, I will say this though. It goes back to these other women that's all saying damn near the same thing and inclusive together. That's why I say I don't know jurors on swing. One or two of them jurors liable to say not guilty and get a hung jury. But on the other end of that, you got the rest of the jurors that's gonna, find them guilty. Like I said, before the semen came, I already said, I already on the fence. But when the shirt came, I was leaning towards guilty. But like I say, at this point, it could go either way. I hate to be the one who said, because like I said, I'm not for him.
Right.
There's no hidden secret ever since I had my little conversation with, Mr. Clark. Like I said, it's no hidden secret. I had a conversation with him.
Right.
I was like I say, you know that. I
Right.
don't have to hide that. You know that already.
Right.
I had conversations with him.
let me ask you a question. But can you see the screen right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at you. Yeah.
I'm gonna put something on here just for you. Tell me the first thing that come to your mind. Take your time with it.
Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm looking at it from my iPad, so hold on. I got
Yeah. Take.
iPad. But you can tell me what's on it for now, so I pull it up on my iPad.
Right. Take your time. Cause see, if everybody knew this, they'd be like, "Oh boy, here we go." And the only way I knew about this is because I was trying to get down with her acting firm, and then she told me it'd be a conflict of interest. But she never told me why. And then when Surviving R. Kelly came out, I understand why. But I'm going to let you read that.
Okay, I'm looking at it.
Okay. And she clearly said, I sat down with the survivors a year before a camera was in their face. Okay, Tamara Simmons is a talent scout and a talent groomer. Then she said, I didn't choose to do a documentary on RK. I chose to document the survivors' voices, which means you chose to do a documentary on R. Kelly. And then she tried to do one on Russell Simmons, but Russell Simmons left. And then she tried to do one on JD, and then that's when people started threatening her life. All right. Then it says Black Silence Voices. RK just so happened to be the subject matter. Sharing is healing. I want them all to be healed. Well, if you want them all to be healed, why wasn't there some type of mental doctor there for them? But to be healed, you took them to get Emmys. You took them to get Birkin bags, and you took them to get Soul Train awards. Let's make this make sense.
Okay, I see that.
So now, I'm not telling you to think like me. I'm just telling you to think. This was a calculated setup.
No matter who they is, can't nobody make me think that he's guilty or innocent.
Right.
All man at the end of the day. Like I say, that's why he had a sequestered jury, because they didn't want anybody making people think automatically that he was innocent from the get-go or guilty from the get-go. So I think he deserved to have a trial like that for that very reason.
Right now, watch this. I want you to look up Tamara Simmons. Watch the first thing that come up. And I guarantee you're going to be like, wow.
But again, I'm not going to base it off. I can't base it off that. I got to base it off
No.
the transcript there in the trial. Everything I'm going off of the transcript and everything that I'm reading with the testimony and what all these women are saying and what the defense is trying to argue at this point.
Right. And see, and I'm not trying to have you. I'm not even trying to have you to change your mind. I'm just trying to give you facts. But now watch this. If this was such a documentary for abused females, why would you go get a talent scout to talk to for a whole year? On top of that,
as I said, some of these women, I'm just going to call it as like you call it. A lot of these women wanted fame and wanted R. Kelly's name.
right?
Fame and R. Kelly's name. I can give at least 5 of those women out of this trial. I can 5 of these women that.
Right.
I can get 5 of them. You got other witnesses that was younger than that. What about these 17-year-olds? Or when they said, R. Kelly met him at the high school and
Watch this. Watch this.
Can't dismiss what.
Watch this. That came up in court.
Correct.
And you see what Diane Copeland said? There were no underage females that he met at no high school. Then on top of that, everybody's star witness, Cheryl Mack, sat there and said, I'm going to be honest, we planned this 10 years ago. 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 Wait a minute. Why is you planning this? What are you trying to get out of it?
But hold on, but imagine this, though, Jay. If that's the case, them lawyers, his team should already be on that. If what you're saying is a fact, just like his, what's the name, sister said that she had herpes, that he didn't give R. Kelly herpes. If the sister already had it, the lawyer should have already been on that. I feel like his lawyers should have been on it. If that was the case, his lawyer should have already brought it out of trial, had the jurors already known that, hey, R. Kelly didn't have this. The sister had it, not him.
Watch this.
So it's a breakdown somewhere within his on his count.
Watch this.
Your side of the count.
Watch this, and I'm going to say this. And you may very well be right. This is what happens when you switch lawyers in the middle because your first lead lawyer is incompetent. Kanik only been on the case for 2 weeks before he came in and started smashing people's heads.
Right.
Just imagine if Kanik was on the case from the beginning. You see the difference between Kanik and Greenberg.
It's a hell of a big difference. He's actually putting in some work. I can give him that. He's actually putting in the work for Kelly.
Here's another thing I'm going to say. Do you find it funny that John Doe #1 is connected to Don Russell and not R. Kelly?
As I said before, a lot of this should have seemed a little fishy. as a juror, if I'm a juror, I'm looking sideways at a lot of shit. Because I can't ignore what some of these. I believe some of these charges probably wicked, but I don't believe all the charges gonna get dismissed from him. This shit seems fishy, like you say.
So I'm gonna say this. Robert met Faith when?
2000 what?
17?
Something like that.
In 2017, right?
Correct.
Okay. Faith already had herpes since 2013. So here's the switch.
But what did Rob Doctor say? Go back to that. If you're going to say that, make sure you...
Watch this. But I'm going to go back to what the doctor said. But the doctor said, I treated him for herpes symptoms, but his culture came back negative. And I said something about that. Why are you treating him for herpes symptoms instead of treating him for the symptoms that he have? If his culture came back negative, you can't treat a cold sore with herpes symptoms. I mean herpes medicine. Right. Well, no, then again, I'm lying. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. This is what I'm going to say. You can't treat chicken pox with herpes symptoms. That's the correct way to do it. At the end of the day, his culture came back negative. But it's such a big funding when you put certain aliases on medicine. And you get paid both ways, from the client and from your job. So the problem is this. Why the doctor didn't notate anything that happened? That makes the doctor not credible. But here's what I want y'all to wait for.
Wait a minute, though, but that's been the same doctor for his doctor for a long. He said he's been Rob's doctor for how many years? I think it's almost a decade. Right.
So check this out. If you've been my doctor for a decade, right? I'm trusting you that you documenting everything. So if you're my doctor, why is it that the federal government can bring you in as their witness? When we all know...
But they had a chance to cross-reference him.
And they destroyed him. Right. But I'm also going to give you this thing. Valtrex. is for herpes that we all know, right?
That's correct.
So what else is Veltrex for?
It depends on the symptoms. It can
No.
be such a thing.
No.
I get what you're saying, though.
No. Veltrex is to stop the flow of pus. That's all Veltrex is for. Veltrex is to draw up pus. What happened to Robert that he would need Veltrex? And it wasn't herpes. Think about when he had operation on his throat. And Robert was hard-headed and went back in the studio and bust all the stitches in his throat and the pus to start running.
I saw your live when you said that.
Right. And all the pus start running, which could have killed him. So, of course, and you got to go back to the hospital, but they got to determine, okay, if we put stitches back in, and he might do something and to mess it up, but we got to give him Veltrex ASAP. Because we need to stop the flow of the pus.
Okay, but this is back to come out and say it like that. In the way that you said it. How you saying it, that's not the way you would testify upon the doctor saying it like that. He didn't say it that way.
Right.
If you would have said it that way, then I didn't have a choice. But as a juror, once again, they saying.
Right, but so watch this, but I'm going to ask you this, though. If I'm a witness for the federal government that's against Robert, why do I want to break it down like that to help Robert?
Well, again, that's just the defense team to go over there and say exactly what you just said. I'm not saying you don't, so don't take it the wrong way. But
No, I know.
Should have said that the same way that you just said it. They should have put it in lawyer form, in that form, and gave it to the jurors like that.
Facts.
That is not the way it was given.
I totally agree with you. And that's why and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not for nobody losing their job or nothing. But when you do messed up stuff to people, things happen. That man about to lose his whole livelihood right now. Because now, ever since that came out, Robert ain't had to say nothing. The state bar from where he's at in Illinois is now looking at his records. And they want to know, why wasn't you keeping records? And he said, oh, because R. Kelly was giving me tickets. Wait. You violating now. And you violating the whole medical code.
I feel you, but again, it goes back to what you just said, this wrap up on these jurors. When these jurors go to the back and look at all these circumstantial evidence, they got to make a determination, like in their mind, how they perceive it to be. Not while the district attorney is. We all know jurors got their own way of thinking, their own way of examining this whole case. But they already know whether he's guilty or right now. I can tell you that right now. I guarantee majority of those jurors already know what they're going to say already.
Facts.
District attorney's office and his defense team, they already know. Now, I will say this, not in defense of him, but I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
He's found guilty. He has a good chance of getting the bill based on Tasha K shit. Tasha K really gave that man a leg to stand on, because without that, chaos would have been fucked.
Watch this. I'm about to give you the whole opposite lens of that. Now, I want you to say what you just said again. Now, watch the lens I'm going to give you. And you're going to be like, oh, I ain't think about that. You said Tasha K gave him a leg to stand on, right?
That's correct. Because without that, he wouldn't have really had a whole appeal.
What?
A hell of an appeal. I'm saying from 1 to 10, that appeal would have been denied.
Watch this.
A leg to stand on because of what Tasha K did.
Watch this. What if I tell you that Tasha K gave the government a leg to stand on?
Well, she did turn over some information, but she fucked that up at the same time, because they put the government to say, hey, we didn't do shit wrong. She did. They gonna monopolize and turn it on Tasha K. We know the government ain't gonna fuck the government. Let's just be real.
Watch this.
The government.
Watch this. You almost there, but you ain't fully turned that corner yet. Check this out, and I'm gonna give it to you like this. The government conviction rate is what?
Oh, 98% conviction rate.
Watch this. If they lose this, that won't go against their conviction rate because of the fact they can always say Tasha K tampered with the evidence.
Yeah, but that ain't gonna come out and let it go that way. They'll use that card. If they lose, that'll probably be one of the cards that they use. And probably say they're gonna come back around and retry the case.
That's the only card they can use. But now watch this. Here's what everybody have to worry about. Let's just say they rule not guilty, right? And Donnelly can still come back and be slick and say, not guilty without prejudice.
Now, if she do that, they can't retry him.
No. If they do that, they can retry him. But if she say not guilty with prejudice, they can't retry him. It's called legalese. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to see how she gonna try to flip that. Because we want a not guilty with prejudice.
Yeah, if R. Kelly get him guilty or not guilty, his ass should. First thing he need to do is get him some trustworthy people and get a helper on his sex addiction. Now you have to admit the man got a sex addiction. You have to at least admit that man does have a sex addiction that he needs to get a hold of.
What man don't have a sex addiction?
His penis is getting him in trouble.
What man don't have a sex addiction? Because right now, that's what this trial is about, his penis.
Hold on. Well, okay, look at me and you. We love women, but we don't fuck every woman that we see. We don't fuck every woman that we see.
I don't know. I'm going to have to tell you to you like this, Amazing. Without incriminating myself, right? I started at a very young age. And that's because of my babysitter actions and towards me. So with that being said,
you were young.
Right.
No, that don't help.
No, all of that count. And the reason why it count is because the different levels of sex is not the same. What will be basic sex to everybody else, it'll be boring sex to somebody that's been violated.
I can see where you're going with that. I'm listening. I can see
Right.
that a little bit.
Right. So it's like,
It's just not an excuse how much sex R. Kelly done had more sex than me and you put together. Whole fucking lifetime.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. He's a mega superstar. How much sex you think he's going to get?
At a certain age, you know, hey man, I ain't no 22 or 21-year-old. I can't just fuck like this.
Bro.
I can't just get it out there.
Bro.
I'm
going to keep it real with you.
Certain age, you slow down.
I'm going to keep it real with you.
You slow the fuck down.
It don't happen with everybody. Because the older you get, the more you want it. I'm going to say this. Take a woman that's in her teens, right? That's like 18. She trying to get it every which way possible. She might slow down about 30. At 45, she wanted even more than what she wanted back when she was in her early 20s. Same thing go for men. If we had to pick up the litter every day, don't you think that we going to get the pick of the litter every day?
It depends. Yeah, it depends. If you a sex daddy like he is.
Look.
The question is, did he learn it? My big thing is, did he learn his damn lesson? That's all I care about at this point. Did he learn his lesson?
And you know what?
Did he learn his lesson? That's all I care about. If the man, say, yeah, I got a problem, I'm going to get a handle on it and get a real team of people around him. Like, I don't know if you was hanging around him like you say you was, but the man needs some real friends around him.
I'm going to be honest with you, bro.
Did not give a fuck about him.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have to agree. But it wasn't all of his friends. Because some of his friends really loved him. And some of his friends...
He should have got this far, though.
And some of his friends wasn't playing. And when Robert wanted to do something crazy, they'd be like, nah, bro. But I will say this. Just like with anybody. You got some that's for you. Some... Matter of fact, Life Jennings said it the best. Like Jennings said, is a third that's going to love you, is a third that's going to hate you secretly, and is a third but just don't give a hell.
That's a fact. That's a fact of life. But again, we're not talking about just anybody. We're talking about Robert Sylvester Kelly.
Now,
Different. He's not like you and I.
why you say that?
Again, you just put it out there. He's a mega superstar, maybe even possibly a legend.
That's his status. But when you take a status from somebody, and I'm gonna put it to you like this. Let me break it down into you this way. Robert Sylvester Kelly is a person. R. Kelly is the mega superstar, is the mogul. R. Kelly can't move without the body of Robert Sylvester Kelly. So when the persona of R. Kelly goes, you still have Robert Sylvester Kelly. I'm not a fan of R. Kelly. I'm a homie of Robert Sylvester Kelly. Did that make sense?
I follow you there.
So at the end of the day,
I think it's just like your character that you play.
right,
DanaJay the actor or DanaJay the actual person.
Right.
Same as me. DJ Mason is the DJ me, and the real me is the real me.
right. And the thing is, this is what people gotta understand. At the end of the day, people is obsessed with the fame, the glitz, the glamour of R. Kelly. That they are obsessed with. Do you mind? As soon as he hit that key, But
Now hold on, Luther. I'm glad you brought that up because now you open the door. You open the door up, man. You open the door up. With him singing like that and all these women, why can't he just pick one or two good-looking women? Azriel was a good-looking young lady. Some of these other, Joy, she's a good-looking. Why can't he just kept it to a minimum? Put it that way. Why he couldn't just keep it to a minimum? Why he had to have multiple women? It don't make any sense because you're going to find out one of these women going to get pissed off at you and do some shit.
watch this.
These women going to do some shit.
And I'm glad you said that.
Black man, you know that.
I'm glad you said that. So let me ask you a two-part question. The first part is, if I can have multiple women, why settle for one? The second part of it is, if Hugh Hefner can have a Playboy mansion, why can't Robert just have a couple girlfriends?
Huge difference. I'll answer the question as you said it. Part one of the question was, how come R. Kelly can't have multiple women? Again, he's already been through this in his past. Like, yeah, he got acquitted, but knowing what the shit that he knows, like he said, from his way, way past, he should know damn well what he should, what he shouldn't do, what kind of women he should put around him, and what kind of women he shouldn't be around, based on his, as he said, my way, way past, right? That was your question. Something was different. He was a women that wanted to be in magazines. Yeah, he was a porn star, but at the same time, the man wasn't out here doing shit. You know, even here you have to was doing sick shit. Kissing people and shitting in people. And you have to doing half of the shit R. Kelly has been alleged to do.
Now watch this. I'm glad you said that. Half of the things that R. Kelly is alleged of doing. This is why I say it's important and for people to be in a courtroom. Because Cheryl Mack even said, a lot of this stuff is made up. We planned this. At the end of the day, you can tell when the planning start going wrong, because when they asked Azriel, did you write this? Azriel said no. I told the federal government certain key points, and they wrote their own script. So my thing is this. Not only is it making the government look bad, but if any type of doubt is casted, right? How can you say this man is alleged of anything? Because now I done casted doubt on word of mouth. And that's all you had. On top of these, let's go here. What about all these? Oh, he got multiple sex tapes. I'm going to be honest with you. In court, they said they recovered 4. 2 from Trump, 2 from Trump, 2 from the storage. And one of the ones from the storage just so happened to be boys on there. But then when they broke it all down, Azriel the one that saved everything to the iPad. How can you trust that?
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go here, which I'm going to use your word. I'm going to go here. Perception. If you can sell perception, perception is what's going to sell to them jurors. Perception.
And watch this. I'm glad you said that. So is it safe to say that Larry was good at selling perception?
We gotta let Larry see like something. We gotta let Larry weigh in, bro. Larry McKee, man. You could have said DJ Tyson some fucking thing. You could have said Bear Bug. God damn.
And here we go.
I digress.
Man, I'm just saying though. I'm just saying. I just gotta keep it real. At least I can say Bedbug sold perception, and then when he seen where the money was at, he switched perception to a lie. I can say that much.
Being him, I got more respect for you than I do for Bedbug. That Negro is a. They should name a cash app after him. Hashtag cash app.
Man, look. Sometimes you just gotta ignore those people, man.
But I ain't here to talk about him. I'm gonna leave that
Right.
way here because he ain't gonna talk about me and you for 2 or 3 days straight.
Man, look. I just let that dude say, you know what I mean, say what he say. It is what it is. But I know who pretty much started this whole sector. So I ain't worried about it.
But let's get back on topic though. Like I say, perception. Now the closer I'm gonna go so far as this. I'm gonna tell you what his lawyer's gonna try to pull, how they gonna try to finesse.
Oh,
His
okay.
team is gonna try to finesse that. They didn't prove the RICO. That's gonna be the big one. They gonna use that RICO shit hard. Y'all didn't prove RICO, right? They gonna use that, and they gonna say R. Kelly didn't do any of these things that y'all say. They gonna go to the jurors. Basically, I'm gonna sum it up this way: if the charges don't fit, you must acquit. That's what they gonna run with.
All right, now watch this. How can you prove a RICO when your witnesses have already said it's no RICO? You can't prove you can't prove a RICO if the people that you brought in has already destroyed your RICO. Again, like I read tonight.
Thinking of that again, I get that. But let's forget about the district attorney. Let's think about those jurors that's pertaining to this case. That's what you need to be worried about. Is these jurors.
Well,
And what their perception is, what they thinking.
Well, I'm gonna say this. As I watch the jurors come in on camera, right? You watch the faces. They tell it all. It tells it all. But they don't look at Robert. But they don't look at the government. But they turn totally away. And they coming in and they go into their seat and they spread out the way they supposed to do, right? So watch this much. Watch this. With that being said, the effects that they thought the audio and stuff was going to have and the video was going to have didn't have the effect. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if it had that effect that everybody thought it was going to have, then the federal government wouldn't have came back in a somber mode and upset, and pretty much they told on themselves when they came back unprepared. And the reason why they came back after lunch unprepared is because they thought they had the hook, line, and sinker with the audio and the little video. But you couldn't tell who's in the video because they said Robert wasn't in the video. But they said even with the voice, you couldn't tell if it was Robert or Richard Arline. So they were hung right there. And
let's say that they are. Let's put a pin in it right there. Let's say they are. So, like I say, from the beginning of this case all the way to where it is right now, you gotta look at the handful of evidence that the jury have, like all those sample A, B, C, whatever, all that shit that they got. They you know what I'm saying? They gonna have to look at all what's available to them and determine whether this man is innocent or guilty. That's simple as that. Now you said in the interview just recently how you felt about how the case is going. Now,
right.
I believe you gave R. Kelly's perception. You didn't give both sides. You said everything is one sided. Well, you gave just his side. You didn't give the other side.
No. Actually, and when people ask me that.
By the way, my partner, you was fly. I gotta give it to you.
Okay.
Fly, you know what I'm saying? So fly to you.
No, but see, here's my thing. And when people ask me that, I don't just give one-sided. Because when I'm in the courtroom, I'm in a room full of people who really don't like R. Kelly. It'll be about 6 people in there that like R. Kelly. But you got about 23 people in there who's talking about, oh no, he's this, he's that, he's this, and he's that. So I'm listening to the temperature of the room. And then, as the case goes along, when I'm starting to see the temperature change, and people are saying, this don't make sense. And when I hear all of the media people say, oh, the RICO's done, I don't have a choice but to tell what it really is. At the end of the day, I can give my perception, and I tell you, this is what I think, this is my perception, this. But when the temperature in a room for people who don't like R. Kelly, prime example, I was sitting in between 2 Me Too people. And all of them were saying, we were lied to. We got to go revisit some things. And then, as I'm leaving out for break, and I'm going to the bathroom, one of them come behind me and say, bro, I got to apologize to you, bro, because we thought this man was a monster.
But hold on, okay, hold that right there. Let me bust your bubble. That all sounds good. That all sounds sweet. That sounds, hey, the Me Too movement, the one of them apologize to you, that's great. That's fine. You know, hey, I dap you up on that. But again, it ain't about what them it ain't about what them damn, I didn't slip my mind. The media, it doesn't matter what none of them think. It matters what them people think in that box.
Watch this.
What matters when it comes down to is what them women. I forgot what the jurors were made up of. I wrote it down. I'm not in my room right now, but I wrote down what all the 12 jurors are. I know it's men and women, but I wrote down what the 12 jurors are, like men and women, like what's their race. I wrote down that, but what I'm getting at is you got to worry about what more like what they think. Just like when you go to church and let's say you go in there with the raggedy jeans and the raggedy shirt, people gonna talk about you, but then you gonna have those who say, "Come as you are."
Watch this though.
But go ahead.
I'm glad you said you gotta worry about what the jurors think. So watch this. 9 times out of 10, the jurors is not as hard as the media reporters. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought the media and reporters were okay, but they are some of the worst critics in the world. I promise you this. So
because every time I Google something with R. Kelly, it is always something negative. They're not reporting
so
both sides of the room. That's why I said.
oh, so wait, check it. Here's the point I'm trying to make. If they can be, or if they can have a change of heart, right? And they have been following the case, and if they are sitting back confused as hell, and they've been following the case, the jurors that was picked, you can't tell me that they ain't scrambled eggs, because they don't know which way to go, as you said, because at the end of the day, the charges are not there. Anytime a federal government say, Your Honor, we made a mistake, you can't do that.
The people you read on stuff, they can. They the government. They can do what the fuck they want to do.
That's true.
Even though, but hold on, he's R. Kelly, but he's not bigger than the federal government.
That's true.
No reach like that.
That's true, but technically, you cannot do that. Because technically, and the guidelines are, you charged him what you charged him with, which made him come to our jurisdiction. So it's not our fault that your charges are wrong. Matter of fact, just like they say in court, ignorance is not an excuse to not know law. So what you're telling me is that the federal government, who have unlimited resources, who had almost 20-something years to put this together, now you telling me because you getting spanked in court that you made a mistake? Nah, bro. Even though you can do what you want to do, all eyes is on Ann Donnelly. Because if she allow it, now we know what's going on. That's grounds for mistrial.
Well, we both know Judge Donnelly can barely even hear, because every time you turn around, you say, "Can I hear you? Can you speak up?" I will give her that. That woman act like she can't hear.
And then I'm going to say this. The way, bro, I never seen a judge get so upset with a prosecutor, bro. She got so mad last week to the point where, and when Geddes was like, "I just want to read this," and she said, "No, you ain't reading nothing. Enter it in on evidence and let's go." The whole upstairs was like, because we never seen that come from her before. She got so mad after she said that, and she said, "You know what? Just break for lunch. Come back regular time."
Yeah, because like again, they're dragging this shit out more than what it has to. They keep bringing all these extra witnesses. They keep bringing all these other people. If they got everything they said they had, they should have had this shit at the very beginning of the case.
This should have been over in 4 weeks if they had what they said they had.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they have everything that they claim this man did. Now, I will say, some of this shit gonna stick, whether you want to believe it or not. Some of these charges are gonna fucking stick. We just don't know which one.
Watch this.
The biggest one was the RICO.
Watch this. And you're gonna listen, and you're gonna hear it from me first. At best, if they just want to have something to stick, it will be statutory rape, which is a misdemeanor. At best.
What that carry? I gotta look at see what that carries.
A fine. Because it's not but it won't be a federal charge.
I don't know. I can't say too much because I don't know. I don't have enough information to based off of your decision. I don't know. I gotta look. I gotta do my own homework on that. But
yeah. Do your homework.
He's not gonna run around scot free. I can tell you that now. R. Kelly, I put it this way, man. I will donate to your cash app. If R. Kelly get a not guilty verdict, I will personally donate to R. Kelly myself through you because I don't know the man like that. I would personally donate to your cash app.
But the only thing I would say is this.
Get a not guilty cash.
But the only thing I would say is this. Send it to Cannick. Can I give you his information?
If it come back that way, and I was wrong, I would publicly get on my platform, your platform, and say, hey, I was wrong. Like,
But see, that's one thing about you though.
Insurance thing.
And you don't have a problem admitting when you're wrong. It's these people who do wrong shit who got a problem with saying they were wrong. These are grown kids who do wrong things to people and say wrong things about people, but don't want to make the wrong right. And that's where the chaos comes from.
I never, like I said, you know, I'm not for or against R. Kelly. I'm just, like I said, I'm saying what really happened. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like I say, what really turned me against R. Kelly, like I said, I want to expose what, you know what I'm saying, what what her daddy told me is what he told me, and that's what really made me turn against Rob with the conversation that I truly, really had with this man. Because, like I said, I went at it with this man. I was on the outside. But like I said, he opened me. You got a daughter too, man.
Right.
You have to understand from a father's perspective what kind of sick shit this really is.
Angelo, I'm going to put it out there. Angelo is very convincing. Very. He's very convincing. But when you sit back and you sitting in court, and when his daughter says something totally different, when she went to go meet the people, and that's after she got mad at Rob, and what she said in court to the people, and what she said to the people don't match what's being said in court, and then she turned around and say the federal government made that up, bro.
It made that look real dumb.
Bro.
That's it. It made that look real dumb. But at the same time, it's the reason why she flipped on R. Kelly too. It's something, and like I said, I don't know the whole reason why she flipped against this man.
This is one thing I'm gonna say.
We both don't know the true reason why she really flipped against R. Kelly.
Facts.
And something took place around that time before she got into it with Jordan. Something happened in between that time frame.
Then I'm gonna go here. No matter what happened, right? No matter what happened, if you really for somebody, you will never flip on a public platform and try to hurt them. Now the thing is, I could be wrong.
Well, that shouldn't have been their star witness. I could even base it on that. Azrael shouldn't have been their star witness. Because, like I said, she was with the man at the beginning. She shouldn't even been a witness if you ask me. Based on, you know, she was with this man all this time, I can give it that. But like I said, Angelo said some shit that you know, she had every reason to feel the way she feel too.
Angelo is very convincing. Very. But, I'm going to say this. When it comes to that, I don't think nobody's hand is clean when it comes to that. Because the stuff that came on in court had me sitting there thinking like, am I in a Twilight Zone? I mean, have you read Azrael full transcript?
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Nah, bro. No. You got to read day 3. Because when...
You only read day 1, the first day.
Bro, it gets worse. And not for Robert. It get worse. Man, it got to the point where she started getting frustrated. And the federal government had to keep calling. But they kept signaling for a sidebar. And then they went to a break. Then they had to prep her. Yo, this is crazy, bro. I'm glad I actually got to see this trial. This is crazy. I've never seen nothing like this.
It's a trial I've never seen. I can agree with you.
I've never seen nothing like this.
I've seen trials like this.
Matter of fact, I was in a federal joint. I was in a federal case, and I seen a bunch of federal cases. I never seen nothing like this, yo. Never. Like where witnesses are willing to purge themselves. Like, yo, are you crazy? But the one thing Angelo said to me in the very beginning that always stuck with me, and he said, my daughter is going to have to live her own life. I'm prepared for her to do 5 years for purging herself. I'm sorry. And I told Angelo then, you're a better man than you are a way better man than me. Cause if I see my daughter getting put in handcuffs, nigga, I'm gonna be mad. I'm not ready to see my baby go to jail.
Well, like Angelo said, she has to live her truth, and that's her truth.
I'm just saying, whether it's her truth or not, no father or child no father or parent want to see their baby locked up, bro.
And like I say, when this city is over, there's gonna be a lot of motherfuckers that's gonna get locked up for that shit.
Right.
A lot of people get the.
Yeah, Ty. Yeah, Ty, what's up?
You online?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, well call me when we get off.
Alright.
Ooh, I see you, DanaJay. We see you.
Nah, man, stop. Come on, stop that. Nah. More than likely, it's something that went down. This business.
I believe your VIP alone.
You stupid as hell. Nah, bro. More than likely, something went down, and they probably want to ask me a question or something.
Well, go ahead. What you been finna ask me them? I got thrown out by the conversation. Shit.
Nah,
Yeah,
yo, I'll be in Houston soon, man. Man, you got a link when I come down, bro.
But now, what you been saying about every no. After this case over with, there's gonna be a lot of motherfuckers that's gonna be in a lot of shit. And you know, the district attorney, I'm pretty sure they didn't wrote down a lot of people's names that purged themselves because
Man,
they spent money on this shit.
check
They spent a lot of money on this case.
check it. It's not so much of a district attorney. I thought the district attorney would be the one doing it too. No, they have marshals upstairs in the overflow room, and what the marshals are doing is they in a room with the parents and the family and everything. They writing down everything that's being said, that's being called as a possible purge. And what they doing is they putting it on document paper. I mean, like court paper. And they got the pink, the white, and the yellow paper. And when they finish filling it out, they go downstairs and they put it on Aunt Donnelly's desk. Then they come back and they do a whole nother. Yo, this shit is brutal, bro. And to see Azriel friend get chewed up like that to the point where, dog, she broke down, put her hands and put her head in her lap and just sat there. Matter of fact, Aunt Donnelly was like, and she was like, let me just call a sidebar.
I remember that.
No.
I was watching that.
No, she ain't call a recess. And she called a sidebar. And she spoke with both of them. And then, I guess, I'm assuming at this point, that she probably asked Kanik, are you going to let up? And Kanik probably said no. And she came back and said, look, can we just excuse this witness? It's over with this. We can't pursue this. Bro, it is brutal up there, man.
I'm sure because it's a dogfight right now between this side and the prosecutor. There's a dogfight on both sides.
But I mean, but just the way they got it set up, bro, it looked like a huge interrogate. All right, look. And the witness is on a stand, on a jury stand, right? And it's just her and the mic and a bunch of chairs. Then you got Aunt Donnelly to the left that's up in the sky. Then you have that's sitting slightly down in front of you is the whole government at the round table. Then you have Rob and the defense that's right behind them, but they looking at you directly in your face. Man, that's some scary stuff. And then the lighting is, and the lighting don't, matter of fact, it don't seem bright. It's like at a minimum. And then that's all you hear is papers flopping and, man, yo, it's scary, bro. It's scary.
Imagine, bro. But these people knew what they was getting into when they, both sides.
Facts.
He was signing up for when the shit came.
Facts.
He knew that they signed up for because they had to go in and prep for it, like you said. They had to prep on both sides. They had to prep for this shit.
Oh no, the defense team ain't had no time to prep nobody. But the government was prepping.
3,200 material. R. Kelly had time when they turned over all the 3,200 material.
Now listen, and here's the thing about that. Koenig even said, I didn't have time to look at a lot of this. Because Greenberg was on the case.
Now, I don't know. I've never liked him from day one of his lawyers, neither. I've never liked him because he was a TV lawyer to me. He was too much on TV, too much on Twitter. You my lawyer. I don't want you on none of this shit. I want you to go do what I believe you to do. Hell no, I don't want you on Twitter arguing with fucking you and DJ Tyson. Hell no, I want you working my motherfucking case. Not saying debating with y'all two. I ain't paying y'all to help me get out this shit.
Man,
I'm looking at it.
I still say Doug is my guy, man. Through and through.
Doug may be your guy, but where's his ass at right now? Nowhere near on the case.
Nah, but he working on the civil stuff right now. Matter of fact, he breaking that whole civil stuff.
Away from y'all too.
Huh?
Away from y'all too.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I ain't nothing to say about it.
God. Hey.
Are you going back to the court so we can watch the
Yeah, I'll be back up.
I'm gonna be watching that shit like this fucking New Year's Eve. I'm gonna be watching that shit.
I'll be back. And I got something planned for that too. So
my question is now, I'm gonna ask you this.
Hey, Queen Newton, should nobody have timed you out? What happened?
If he beats this, are they gonna let him go that day?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't answer that, and because they have a dual jurisdiction on him, that's a question that I would have to ask, because by him having a no bail in Chicago, right?
But that's because of the RICO.
I don't know. So I'm not going to give you no type of false hope. I'm not going to give you no type of false nothing. I did that once before and got buried for that. Oh, Dana, you lied. And you said Robert's going to get house arrest. Well, that's what I was under the impression of, but I'm not doing that no more. So I'm just going to cut and dry. Unless I know, I'm not going to say something's going to happen unless I know for real.
Well, if he get acquitted of all these charges you say, then the man should walk free. Matter of fact, the bond should, I think you do get a bond at that point, because he's facing 2 other state felony charges then.
Well,
unless what you say the other cases are trial.
Well, I can't answer that because Chicago got a dual jurisdiction on him. But then here's another thing that I asked once before. And the thing that I asked once before was, Robert was on bond when the feds came and got him. So do that mean that he violated his bond right for the state because the feds came and got him? These are questions that I have to ask to find out.
Only his attorney can answer that.
Right.
Or you can call Doug and ask Doug. I mean, you're pretty good friends with him. I'm assuming connect with one of your...
Ooh.
Might as well say your buddy.
Ooh. Oh, you throwing mud right now. Okay.
Hey, I only call like I see it, fam.
But you know I'm a master at throwing mud back, right?
I understand.
Walk lightly, brother. Walk lightly.
Hey, I'm treading lightly, fam. I'm like I see it.
Cause see, I can always say like, yo, why Larry ain't giving you no answers?
Leave Larry alone. Don't let Larry be where he be at. That's what he's doing time right now. But he'll be home soon, though.
Hey, well, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I just think,
man, make sure he's right when he come up out of there. If he come up out of there, you make sure he keep his nose clean, keep his penis in his pants, and marry a woman and be done with the shit.
yeah, man. Same thing go for you. Y'all gotta make sure Larry stay away from them boys, man. But let's get them big time cars, man.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather be in trouble with the shit that he did than be on the shit that he did.
Man, look, I'm gonna be honest. With you. I wouldn't rather be caught on nothing that either one of them is alleged of doing.
Hey, look, he on some call for some lingerie and some money shit. He ain't on no call for no sex shit.
But that's the difference, though. Larry been convicted. Rob haven't.
That's true, but come on, we both know child molesters in prison ain't.
Larry has been convicted of his crime. Rob haven't. Matter of fact, Rob just a prisoner. He's been held captive. He's a prisoner of circumstance right now.
And why is he a prisoner? Because his penis. He wants to fuck. That's what he wants to do.
But wait, is that a crime?
Hey, I'm gonna refer that question back to you. Is it?
Okay, but I'm gonna ask you this: money laundering is a crime.
Okay.
Stealing identity is a crime.
It is.
Having sex as much as you want is not a crime.
Having sex with. Well, you know what? I can't say whether they're underage or not.
Nowhere around it.
You gotta say it then.
Either way you look at it, it's like, damn if I do, damn if I don't. You have to admit that Robert is being unfairly treated right now.
Because for one, it all started from the beginning when they didn't turn over all the 3,200 material when they should have. That was the problem right there. From the get-go.
So can I ask you a question?
I'm a fair man. Go ahead. I'm a fair man.
So can I ask you a question? And this is the question that I gotta ask. At the end of the day, when you seen that, was doubt starting to cast on your mind that the federal government and was full of shit then?
I told you what tipped my hat over when I spoke, to Mr. Clare. That's what tipped.
No. But I ain't talking about that. But I'm talking about when you seen that the federal government didn't turn over all the 3,500 material. Was you starting to have doubt that the federal government and was full of shit?
At best, I'm gonna say his right was being fucked with at that point. I call it spade a spade. His right was being fucked with at that point.
Thank you. And you know what? This is what separates you from most of the people over at Oak Cove. Because you will admit the truth.
Because I'm a human being too. Because we got
Facts.
rights too. That could be me or you. That they fuck over our rights.
Atmos, where you at? Atmos need to be in this conversation too. Don't hide behind the Bible, Atmos.
That's his own man. I'm my own man. I can't speak for another man. I'm only calling it as from my perception, from my point of view.
But the thing is, what got this case so big and so spiraled out of control is perception and word of mouth. So therefore,
oh, come on, bro. We gotta put more than that. Come on.
So wait.
Don't water it down.
Wait. So trust me, if you can influence another man, then why not have that other man on here so that way we all can have some man talk? Because it's not every day that men talk. It's always the women. Let's push the women to the side and make them be spectators and let men do what men do. That's the problem. It's not enough men talking. Matter of fact, it's more men spectating and all the women are talking. Let's push the women to the side and let the men talk. That's how I look at it. Because when the men talk, women tend to listen. especially if they look good. The same thing goes for women. When women move and they do certain things, men tend to like what a woman does, especially if she look good.
Right.
But let's keep it a buck. We ain't know about Drake like that until the women start listening to Drake. So then the men was like, oh, let me go listen to Drake. Now look.
I follow you there.
Let's go here. Men wasn't thinking about a PlayStation until the women start saying, I'm going to go play PlayStation. And then all the men want to buy PlayStations. Why? Because if you got a PlayStation, 9 times out of 10, that bad chick from down the block going to come over your house and play Mario. And guess what?
You know it.
But then guess what? At that time, it wasn't no Netflix and chill.
No, it was Blockbusters and chill.
Blockbuster, PlayStation, and we chilling. And 9 times out of 10, but that chilling led to some sexual activities, right?
You better know, but see, let's go here with that. I'm going to use your word again. Let's go here. The difference is, when we were younger, we had a conversation with women. It was not, do it my way or you're going to be punched. R. Kelly didn't do it that way.
Now watch this.
That nigga had rules that a normal nigga wouldn't do.
But now watch this. We don't know that to be factual. We can only read what they said. But I got a rule that he has. You can't just come in my house and walk around and explore my house. If I don't show you my house, you better not even walk nowhere in my house. If that's your first time as a guest, you better sit right there until I invite you to walk around in my house. If not, bye. Because see, that let me know that you're nosy. And I don't like nosy people. Don't go snooping around my house. So,
but your rule's not like R. Kelly. R. Kelly had some crazy ass locked you in the fucking room for hours at a time. See, that's another thing I don't like.
Now wait. I gotta cut you off there.
Hold on, though. I'm gonna say these women were stupid. Some of these women, I'm just gonna say ignorant. I'm not gonna call them stupid. Some of these women were ignorant enough to sit there and wait for this man for hours, not knowing if he was or wasn't gonna come. I don't agree with that. I would say some of them should have got the fuck up and left.
Watch this. A lot of that was falsely advertised. But I'm gonna ask you this.
Back that up now. Back that up.
No, because see, once again, I'm in the courtroom listening to it. But I'm gonna break this down to you. Every man loved Janet Jackson, right?
Big fact.
Now you just see the way your voice changed, right? If Janet Jackson told you to come to her house and she got butt ball naked and said, sit there until I get back, you ain't moving.
You know what? I'll be real with you. I'll stay, but only so long. I got a daughter to get home to.
But listen. Nope. You just said what? I'm going to stay, right? 9 times out of 10, if Janet Jackson calling DJ Amazing and saying you gonna be here, 9 times out of 10, you already got your daughter straight for a couple days.
I know that, but you can't speak for me though. I just said if she called me over to her hotel and say, hey, stay here until I get back, I'm a man, you a man. I'm only gonna stay so long, bro.
I'm not going nowhere. If Janet Jackson called me and say, come to my house, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to be in that bad boy talking about, if I want to be somebody, just tell me what's somebody. I'm telling you.
Hey.
I'm playing all Janet Jackson music. Nick, I'm going to tell you where my mind going to be at. I'm going to be thinking about her on tour and her laying that dude down on that bed. And wherever she tell me to sit, I'm going to be nice and hard and ready like, yeah, we going to do it like this. Man, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to have a whole sex scene in my mind ready. That's because of a man.
That's what you thinking. That's how you saying they got the same perception of these women that was doing. But these were not. Some of these were not women. You know, you mentioned that fact. Some of these were not women.
Who wasn't a woman?
Oh, you got a lot. I can go down the list, bro. You know that. Come on, man. You talking to a person that, you know what I'm saying? I ain't perfect, but I ain't.
Who wasn't a woman? Hold up, but Alicia said, I'm just saying, when did people start having an opinion about what one does in the bedroom? That's his business. If he wanted to if he wanted to smash a different chick every day of the week, who are you to tell him he can? And then Miss Sapp said, I'm signing off. He foolish and decisive. Huh? I mean, we're men. And we ain't gonna, I'm lost.
I'll put it like this. If a woman call me, hey, say, DJ, I'll come over to my house in a little while. I'm only going to sit outside in that parking lot for so long until I'll be like, man, you know what, fuck it, I got to go. Now,
Hey.
some of these women should have had that same thing on their mind. Hey, man, I'm not going to stay here, man. I don't give a damn if it is dark, because I got to go.
Listen.
Unless they had ill intentions.
Listen.
I can go there. Unless they had ill intentions for him.
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm going to say it again. That's your once in a lifetime being around somebody that you dream about. Now, I'm going to tell you some real stuff. And when R. Kelly dropped, that's all the females talked about was, I wonder if he really performed like he talked about in 12 Play. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the males were mad at R. Kelly because we like, yo, these chicks ain't paying us no attention. Because they all want to know about this 12 Play. And then that's when men start listening to 12 Play. And I'm going to keep it a buck. That's when men really start learning how to eat vagina.
Fact.
If it wasn't for that 12 Play album and that Earnhardt album, men wouldn't be eating vagina like that.
Not that album. The album before that. His second album.
That 12 Play album and that last Earnhardt album. For the one I had, I Miss You on that. And if you go to the song, Baby, I'll Be There For You.
That was my one back in the day. Remind me of my G. That was the one.
That was 2 albums after 12 Play.
Matter of fact, I keep it G. I lost my virginity to that song. You remind me of my G. I was back in my cousin, cooked the beer. You know what I'm saying? I can admit it, but like I say, his music sounds different to me now.
Why?
Was he really talking about a G? What was he really saying? What was he really reminding him of?
Hey, check it though. Check it. His music and would only sound different is if you believe the fabricated lies. But if you can see through the lies, why does music sound different?
Bring that up. He called himself the Pied Piper. We all know the Pied Piper was who? Peter Pan.
No.
Come on, bro.
Check it. What did the Pied Piper do?
Hey.
Once you break down what the Pied Piper did, once you break down what the true story of the Pied Piper is, and not with this fabricated story, but that people running around with, you'll understand, oh, I get it now. Because the fabricated story is, the Pied Piper, oh no, he blew his flute and stole all the kids away from the town. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
If you Google it, that's what it says.
That's why you need to get off Google. Go on DuckDuckGo.
So you saying,
Go on DuckDuckGo and pull up the real reason of the Pied Piper. He came into town. Listen. He was a plumber. So what he would do is he would blow his flute to lure the rats out of the sewer holes and away from that town. And the people of the town, they would pay him. All the adults act like they didn't want to pay him this last time. So when he played the flute, instead of all the rats coming, the kids came too. And the parents got upset.
Okay, I give you that. I didn't read that.
So watch this.
I take your word on that. I
Right.
flip it every doubt on that.
Right, well, so watch this. The Pied Piper, he coming in, he blowing his music through the airwaves. The adults, not just the adults, the mid-level adults, not just the mid-level adults, the grandmamas, not just the grandmamas, because the grandmama turned the adult onto R. Kelly, which the adult turned on to the mid-adult, and the mid-adults is turning them on to the younger adults. Which means R. Kelly have a bigger fan base and everybody's coming to see what? R. Kelly. Why? Because the music is bumping.
At a point in time, yes, R. Kelly had shit on lock.
He still got it on lock.
Now his music ain't the same no more, bro.
Bro.
I heard his last, like this. Matter of fact, that song you be playing, the people be calling you. This is it. Come on, man. Like,
Listen.
they say R. Kelly is broke, bro.
Listen, this is it.
Broke, man.
This is it. It's just something to have your head bobbing to. I can play something right now that'll make you sit back and think like, yo, this dude ain't playing.
If that's so the case, then why is he needing people like you and other people to give him money?
Why?
Explain that.
And because all of his assets are frozen behind the lies. Or let's go here. As much as I don't like Don Russell and Cash, that's a fitting title. Surviving the Lies. All behind lies, this man's life is in the clutch of the federal government. Now what happens?
People around him.
Watch this. Then I'm gonna ask you this: what happens when he's found not guilty and he turn around and start suing everybody? Is that bullying?
Well, I think a fair, end of the day, fair is fair.
But you know what people gonna say? R. Kelly is trying to bully the victims. He's bullying everybody. That's why I asked you: is that bullying?
He needs to go under the radar. After if he's acquitted, his ass needs to shut the stop. I'm like, I ain't gonna be disrespectful, but he needs to go under the radar at that point.
No. It ain't no go under the radar. Radar. Once he's found not guilty, I will spin around that court and say, "This is it." Oh baby, lawsuit there, lawsuit there, lawsuit there, lawsuit there. Man, I'm telling you, I will be lawsuit Kelly.
Again, you keep saying that like he just got it like that. The man don't got it like that. Who gonna represent him?
Do you know once he's found guilty, everything goes back to hyper normal?
Who's back there? But you making me do it. He gonna have to pay. What's the his lawyer that he dropped? He got to pay all his fees.
Listen,
Fire him.
his
That man.
matter of fact, his assets will be unfrozen. Then, guess what? He'll be able to do it.
With all that shit that he did do.
Huh?
You had to pay Greenberg for all the shit he had to do for him.
Say it again.
Because Greenberg said that nigga didn't have no money.
Which is true. But at the end of the day, Greenberg probably got his already.
Oh, you know that off the top.
So you saying pay Greenberg for what? Being a spectator?
Because once again, he fired him in the middle of his shit before the trial started over a difference of who was going to go first.
Nope. Nope.
He was a shitty lawyer. I give it to him. Greenberg was a shitty lawyer.
Nope.
Don't in front of him. Once again,
don't believe the hype.
The people.
Don't believe the hype. And you know what? And you might got to call back to California for to ask Larry for help. Because that's not why he fired Greenberg.
It's undersealed. The whole story is undersealed. I know with the difference in opinion and chair. Even you said it. Matter of fact, you said it. Matter of fact, you did. Matter of fact, when it first came out, why you fired Greenberg, you didn't say too much, but you did say was the reason why he was let go.
I ain't say too much, but trust me, from what I said, add about 10 times more. It's a lot more, but that's not my monkey, not my show. And then on top of that, this what I would do. All the people that came out and said something ill, I sue them for slander and defamation. And then I will put a control asset on whoever got the most money that's close to them. And I will put a lien on their stuff.
You can do that too if he wants to win. He can do all of that. All that's all good. But he got
Exactly.
He ain't home. He's not home free yet. This shit's not over with. What he got? What, another week of the trial?
I'm gonna put it to you like this. Anytime
Go ahead.
Anytime prosecution rests their case, and when they rested, their stuff was dirt dog weak, it's nothing else to worry about.
Really?
There's nothing else to worry about.
So you do know who gets to close the argument, right? They go, who talks to the jurors last, right? Last impression, right?
Yeah. The prosecution talk last. But if you've been destroyed for 4 weeks and then another week and a half is added on to that, how much more you going to talk?
Yeah, they get to close the argument.
I can say this.
I understand where you're coming from, but again, it goes back to when I first started the conversation with you over the phone, perception of the jurors. What the last impression that the jurors don't get before they go back there and deliberate, it comes from the district attorney.
Watch this. I'm sorry. Let me change that. Once he's found innocent. No, because somebody just checked me on something. I thought I said once he's found innocent, but I guess somebody said once he's found guilty. No, what I meant to say is once he's found innocent. Thank you for that correction. Once he's found innocent. But I'm gonna say this much: the jurors have their notebooks. They've been taking notes. So if you've been getting spanked for 6 weeks, what more can you say? I can honestly say the prosecution ain't have one good full day. Not one. And they might have had moments. And they had build-up. But it turned out to be a dud. And that's bad.
That's FGBC. We don't know that. You can't defer or say that.
I'm telling you from.
You may have been there. Yeah, you're not in the juror's head neither. You can. At the end of the day, we both spectating this shit.
Facts.
We can only sit back and wait and see what the outcome will be. And it can only come back one or two ways: not guilty or guilty. Or no way. I lied. Third reason on the jury.
Oh God. I'm gonna say this. I believe that that the prosecution witnesses helped the defense win this case.
They did. They opened their shit up to a lot of other shit that came with shit that shit that went with shit. So therefore, they gotta stick with the shit. If that makes sense.
And that's facts.
They did open the floodgate up.
That's facts. And they also opened the floodgates to be sued too.
Well, again, that goes back to government. Don't fuck the government. I keep telling you that, but you won't believe that.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if I know of a case where the federal government got sued, but I think it's coming.
It would be the first in history to tell you that. And I seriously doubt it's gonna come from R. Kelly. Because he should want to get far away from these motherfuckers. Man, he should want to get far away from the mother.
Nah, man, it's war. At the end of war, and matter of fact, and you don't run away from war.
Bullet.
Huh?
Bullet. He got 2 more bullets. He got to dodge. If he dodge this bullet, he got to dodge 2 more bullets after this.
And what's them 2 bullets?
Chicago and Illinois.
And Chicago is Illinois.
Yeah, sure is. I'm tripping. Okay, well, you got to dodge 1 other bullet.
Which one is that?
Got to come back home to Chicago.
You know that case? I'm gonna put it to you like this. Do you realize that all the other cases is dependent on this New York case?
True. But if the case is not dismissed down there in Chicago, bigger.
It's
ain't seen nothing on the blogs that said it.
It's vacated.
Prove that? Can you put that up on the screen? Can you prove that?
Yeah, I can prove it. I just gotta pay for my PACER bill. Once I pay my PACER bill in the morning, I definitely go and look at it and put it on the screen.
You got my number. Hit me up. And
Definitely.
I can watch you live. But if I'm wrong, I come back and say, hey, Daddy, you know what? You was right, bro. I was wrong.
Definitely. And in Minnesota, and the prosecutor and the judge is no longer there. For the prosecutor,
is going to handle the case then, right?
right? But the prosecutor is doing time in Minnesota, and the judge passed away.
That means there's going to be a new judge, the new DA.
No.
Who's going to pick up the case.
No, that's not how I work in Minnesota. There's not another DA.
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know how it works. So I'm just me just assuming outside looking in.
Right. There's not another DA but is willing to take that case because it's bullcrap.
I can't speak on what I don't know.
Right.
But bro, I'm gonna let you get back, because I know your audience probably tired of hearing my voice, but I ain't mad at it. You know, they can hate me, I love me. At the end of the day, I sleep good every night. Trust and believe that.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? I respect you on your end and where you're coming from, but at the same time, in between time, you got my respect on my end.
I got you, and you definitely got mine, bro.
Let's see. You got my number, just hit me up. You got my number, just hit me up tomorrow when you go live. I'll fuck with you.
Alright, cool.
That's it.
Alright. Colette Crawford. You said, did y'all watch 69? Case. Nobody got out. This is Fed case. That man ain't getting out. Well, 6ix9ine got out. So I gotta totally disagree with you on that. 6ix9ine got out. Ja Rule got out. Irv Gotti got out. And the only reason why 6ix9ine got out because he snitched. So I totally disagree with that. But I think you need to go back and look at some more cases. Did he just say Chicago, Illinois? Tone G crazy. Y'all crazy. But look, man, I had fun breaking that down. My next one I'm gonna do, Jesus Christ. My next one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Richard Arline and Kelly Rogers. Okay? I don't care if I gotta read it by myself. I'm built for it. I don't need nobody reading for me, and I don't need no machine to read. I think that's why y'all rock with me so tough. But look, I ain't gonna hold y'all. It's late. It's 11:01. Y'all be blessed. DanaJay, I holler at y'all tomorrow. Alright? And remember, elephants don't swat flies. Airplanes fly over turbines. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Be someone important. And you kill hate, negativity, lies, despair with truth, honesty, and respect. Last thing I'm going to tell y'all, be someone important. Be yourself. And until tomorrow, DanaJay gone. And I love each and every last one of y'all. And don't forget, if you want to donate, you can donate. It's going to help towards me going to New York next week. I need you. You need me. We all a family. All right? Tomorrow. Peace.
Say it later, what you gon' do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We love tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spank you. That ass, girl, gotta make it last, girl. Start off slow, then I'ma beat it up.
I don't like to waste time on stupid conversation. There's no profit in that. So if I'm around people that are always complaining with no solutions, then I'm wasting real estate in my brain for what I need to project. And what I project in my brain is what I project in my reality. So that real estate only has to be for evolution, things that are going to help me get where I got to go. You understand? Help me evolve. So if my conversation with you makes me stagnate, we don't have too much conversation either. I don't have no time for no stupid ass conversation.
Y'all better listen to this shit. Y'all better listen to this shit. This is a musical bath right here.
y'all.
There go my glasses.
Good night. Good night.